Hey guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport. Monday, April 14th. I'm in Grand Island, Nebraska. Trying to find a load back to the house. Delivered just about 6 or 7 miles from this truck stop. So I was thinking last night and this morning when I was driving. I do a lot of thinking when I'm driving. Windshield reflections, right? So one guy told me one time that somebody had told him that there's a reason why our windshields are so large and our mirrors are so small, because the future is that much bigger than the past. Makes a lot of sense. So Bill Gates was on Ellen DeGenerate yesterday, and basically said that the only way that we'll be let out of our houses, in so many words, is if we all get the vaccination, mark of the beast, as some would say. And then the WHO, the World Health Organization, bunch of crooks, said that everybody needs to get the vaccination because reinfection. And Obama actually endorsed Joe Biden. So the world's definitely coming to an end. Although Trump is just getting massacred by the media, and kind of rightfully so, man. I mean, he's really not. And I'm a huge Trump supporter. I vote, like I said in my other videos, this is the first time I ever voted. Whether you like me or not for that, oh well. I'm still human. I have flaws. We all have flaws, right? But not to make this political, it's more critical, I guess. But so Trump said he was going to go after the governors. He's got Attorney General Barr. If he finds that there was misconduct, they can make arrests by the DOJ and all this other stuff. But yet the governor of Virginia signed the Second Amendment anti-gun law, and Trump can go after him just for going against the Constitution. So where are you at, Trump? I mean, where you at? I don't get it. So you're going to allow somebody to literally sign a bill, a governor? I mean, I know governors, Trump can't like go after the governors. Well, he can't overrule the governors, I guess, unless he were a dictator, which it kind of seems that's the route that it's going. Pretty crazy. Where am I, Sarah? Hi, baby. I love you. My awesome wife. She, this is just a little gift she got me. Just a little, hey, how you doing, honey? Here's a gift. This is how Americans take a knee. It's during the whole Colin Kaepernick bullshit stuff, when he was taking a knee for the national anthem, which doesn't really make a whole hell of a lot of, well, it doesn't do us a whole lot of good right now. I mean, it makes a hell of a lot of sense, but people don't realize that when you do the national anthem, it's not for the country, it's for the fallen warriors that have fought and stood up for this country and defended it, and so on and so on. So it's not whether you believe in the government or not, or, like I said, I love our country, but I can't stand our government. But anyways, so when you take a knee during the national anthem, you're disrespecting all the people that have risked their lives and their families' lives. So if you don't stand for the national anthem, you're a piece of shit. But I know I'm making it political. I'm sorry. It's just the way I feel. But anyways, the point of the video is, I've been going on, I listen to a lot of YouTube, as you guys all know. And the only reason why I have you guys looking at my ugly face is there's really not much here to look at. So I don't know if you guys want to look over there, but anyways, so I listen to a lot of YouTube, as you guys know, and I listened to my first time on a live stream. I don't really go on live streams because I'm always driving or sleeping or whatever, why people have live streams. But I went on Central Bankers WW3. If you guys want to go over, he seems like a really nice guy, and he does live streams on his channel daily, I believe daily. But seems like a really nice guy, and he reads off of the comments board or chat or whatever, and kind of gets everybody involved on the whole thing. I really like that. So, and he'll say hi to everybody and so on and so on. So that was pretty cool. So you guys go over and check him out. But so as I'm driving last night and this morning, I started thinking about all the videos I've been watching about people saying, I gotta get this damn thing trimmed. But barbers aren't open, right? So I guess I'll have to go and see my guy Q when I get to the house. So anyways, so everybody's talking about, just in normal conversation, people are saying, I know I say and so a lot. I'm sorry, but I'm always trying to think, because I could drop the F-bomb so fast and not really sound very educated, I guess. So I try to think of my words before I say them. And that's not always the case with me. But so people are talking about, are you going to take the vaccine? Again, I back up. So my buddy's a pastor, Rick Andrus, and he's in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And he's like a brother to me. But he had texted me a few weeks ago, said somebody he knew, they came in and they have a small business, these people, and the city or the state, I think it was the city, came in and cut their power because they deemed them non-essential. And he thought it was pretty unfair. I think it's pretty unfair too. I mean, I've heard of people that have silk screening businesses that are still open because they quote unquote make uniforms for like city workers or whatever. That's crazy. But anyways, I think that's your right to stay open. If forget what the government's saying, it's about time we all stand up and start a resistance, because it's only going to get crazier from here. But anyways, so Pastor Rick had asked me what my breaking point was, and I texted him when they tried to force me to vaccinate. So when I started listening to these other people, basically saying, I'm not going to take the vaccination, and well, I don't think it's just that easy. It's not. They're not just going to come up and knock on your door and say, "Oh, you're going to take this," and then you say no and they walk away. It's not going to be like that. Well, first off, when another country goes into another country, or if a country goes into another country and you've defeated them, i.e. when we were in Iraq and stuff, if you go in and you're trying to control the people, you're going to keep them in their houses, and you're going to give them curfews, and you're going to control the people, and you're going to make it as miserable as possible for them. And although people think it's miserable now, this is nothing. And I know it's easy for me to say because I drive semi and I'm an essential. I don't really say I'm the owner of anything. I'm just a slave at the end of the day. Like the monkey, get in that cage, monkey. You can go ahead and drive, monkey. You can't do this now, monkey. Got to do the speed limit, monkey. Although speed limits are kind of just a suggestion anyways, aren't they? They suggest you should do 75 miles an hour. But anyways. But at the end of the day, we're all just monkeys. So started thinking about the vaccination thing. And like I said, it's not going to be just that easy where they're just going to come knock on your door. And we all know that when the false Messiah comes, or the Antichrist, they're not just going to announce it on television. Hey, featuring our new Antichrist. It's going to be somebody that's going to come in and, well, how it says in the Bible is it's going to be somebody that seems to be, you know, the true Messiah, but obviously they're not, and they're supposed to save us or have the people think that they're here to save us. But it doesn't really look that way right now, does it? I mean, you have Bill Gates on Ellen DeGenerate. I know it's DeGeneres, but Ellen, whatever, she's a freaking communist. But I believe that a lot of our politicians are communists as well. But so I started thinking about the way people would react to a vaccination. We all know that in the Bible it says if you take the chip or the sign or this, you know, the mark of the beast, that you will never be forgiven. You don't come back from that. You don't get a do-over. You don't get a mulligan if you're a golfer. You don't get a mulligan. That's it. You're done. So people, because that's what it says in the Bible, it's easy for it to roll off of people's tongues and out of their mouths, where they say, "Oh yeah, I won't take the sign. I won't take the mark." It's just not going to be that easy. You have to, and the only way I can put it is, my wife's name is Sarah, and if you watch my other videos, you know that, and my wife's an RN, and she's my best friend. So even though I have a lot of buddies that are my best friend, you know, best friends, you know, you never want to say, "Oh, you're my best friend," because you're going to offend a buddy, right? But you can always say that about your wife if she truly is your best friend. So Sarah, she knows she's my best friend. But anyways, so the only way I could really put it in perspective is, if, say, Sarah and I were put in a situation and somebody grabbed her and put a gun to her head, and there was another guy standing next to me with the needle, and he said, "You're going to take this vaccination or we're going to kill your wife." I would have to do it because I'm selfish and I want to spend the rest of my life with my wife, right? Even though I know it would be a bad thing, it would be a forever thing. It would be, I won't go to heaven, basically be damned to hell for eternity. And I'm sure she would do the same for me. I know she would, but that, it shouldn't be like that. So if say for instance you have children, I couldn't even imagine having small children during these horrible times. And they're not horrible yet. They're going to get way worse, like worse to the 100th power. But just looking at a car, it looked kind of weird. So if you have children and you know, see, it's almost like so it's a double-edged sword, where, and I hear a lot of people talking about, and like I said, I know it's easy for me to say because I'm still earning an income. I mean, I'm self-employed. I don't consider myself an owner. Like I said, I'm just a slave at the end of the day, the monkey, right? My wife, she's an RN, so she has an essential job. She's not furloughed. And we're able to bring in income. So I know it's easy for me to say. And, you know, we're getting a little $1,200. I think she only got like 800 and some bucks for what she makes or something. But it's still something, right? And I don't even know, because if I'm self-employed, I don't even know if I get one. I mean, I do my taxes every year, but I don't know how that works. But I'm not, and I know, and I, like I said, I know it's easy for me to say, but I'm not counting on a $1,200 check. It would be nice, yeah, of course. But So this is, okay, and I'm not trying to be that guy, people on welfare or that have EBT cards or rent assistance and stuff like that. But you're already relying on the beast. So, because they have you under their thumb. And I'm not making fun. I'm not that guy. Like I said, my mom was on welfare when I was younger. So, and Sarah, my wife, her parents weren't well off. They took in foster kids to make extra money, her parents and stuff. So we're not people with money at all. So, but I hear a lot of comments, and I hear other people saying about other people that have made comments, when are we going to get that check? When are we going to get that check? When are we going to get that check? And then they're already spending that check before they get it on whatever. I hope you're not going to go out and fucking buy a new pair of shoes or, the fucking latest purse or jacket or whatever, video game, because if you do, you're an idiot. You need to take that money that you're probably going to get taxed on in the future anyways. They're going to find, how can we bail out the banks for billions of dollars every 6 or 10 years? Seems like every decade we're bailing out the banks. And these CEOs and CFOs and presidents and VPs and all these other, they continue to get millions upon millions of dollars of bonuses and all this other stuff. It's just, it's so ass backwards, man, right? And they say how, they're saying that they're projecting or predicting 50 million people to be unemployed in the United States, 200 million worldwide. I think we're at about almost 17 million right now. And they say that, we're definitely heading into a depression. That's what they're saying. And I listen to a lot of like investor YouTube and stuff like that. And, we've saved up, some silver and stuff like that. And like I said, we're prepared. I still, even though I know we're prepared, and you go back on, like, into my videos, you'll see, look at one, it's called Bug Out Trailer Part 1, and then I have a Bug Out Trailer Part 2, that we had bought a double axle enclosed trailer from an auction for $375, and it was basically Sarah saying, can you make that into a camper? I used to be a general contractor, so it turned out pretty decent. So, with all the things that we have, for being prepared, I still don't think we're prepared enough. I don't know if that sounds goofy or not. I don't know if you can ever be too prepared, maybe. But, so, when you do get this stimulus check, you need to, and I don't care if you go to a grocery store and you buy kidney beans, canned kidney beans, whatever the case is. We got all kinds of food stored up. And you can come try to take it if you want. I would love that. I would love a firefight. But you don't obviously want to get into a firefight. That's the worst case scenario. But, so my point being is don't go out and buy the latest this and the latest that, and don't put it in the bank, because that money is probably going to be taken once they do bank holidays. And bank holidays, if you don't know what they are, it's basically the banks close their doors and you go into the bank and it's locked, and then you go to the ATM and you can't use your card because it doesn't work. You go to a grocery store, it doesn't work. And that's essentially what's going to happen with the mark of the beast, or this vaccination. You're not going to be able to do anything because you're not vetted or you're not a slave. So, and I look away from the camera when I talk just because I like to think as I'm talking. So, a hungry person will eat anything. So, we have, just for extra stuff, we bought, chicken bouillon and beef bouillon and stuff like that. And I think I said in one of the videos or something, I carry, well, not in this truck because I'm working my way back to get my own truck, but in my personal truck, I carry 870 Remington shotgun tactical on the 45 ammo and a bug out bag and all this other stuff. But I did a video on a many videos ago. I did a video on what to have in your bug out bag. If you guys want to check it out, show you everything I have in my truck as far as my bug out bag. But then I realized my big ass probably couldn't carry it for very long, so we were at a thrift store one day, and I bought if you're a golfer, they got these little golf carts, not the one you drive in, but the one you hook your bag onto. It's a little bipod with wheels and a handle, so I bought one of those. That way, if shit hit the fan and I'm in my truck, I can pop that out, and then I can carry my food and my water on it, or my big bag, and then carry I have another small backpack that's empty to carry extra water and stuff like that. But anyways, so back to the point of the video. So take that money, buy some silver if you can. Silver's only going to skyrocket. I mean, I think we bought our silver at $11 spot, and it was at 19 at one point. Now it's back down to 15, but they say it's gonna skyrocket. We'll see. But we didn't buy it for an investment. We bought it to survive, so we can try to buy something, when shit hits the fan. So buy. I mean, a hungry person will, and like I said about the chicken bouillon and the whatever. I mean, it's probably empty calories if you just mix it in with some hot water. But I'll tell you one thing: a nice salty chicken broth beverage will be better than just plain water. So it does something to you mentally. So buy whatever you can. I wouldn't buy. People are talking about stocking up their freezers because the meat processors are closing their doors because they can't process the meat. And these are. I mean, where I just delivered today in Grand Island, a guy was telling me he was a retired probation officer, and he did it for 30 years, and his name's Rod, really nice guy. But he said that there's a place here locally that's closing down very soon because they just had a shit ton of people, I guess, come down with the COVID virus, of course. And they process 4,000 head of cattle a day. 4,000. I didn't even know that there was that many freaking cattle. 4,000 head of cattle a day they process. And the ones that were shutting down were doing about 1,700 to 1,900 head of cattle a day. And that, I mean, how many meat processors do we have here in the country? It's crazy. Who would have thought? But people are talking about stocking up their freezers and doing this and doing that. If you want, go ahead and buy the meat, but look up some YouTube videos. I did it. How to make your own beef jerky and basically smoke it or whatever, and you can do it over an open fire for 24 hours plus. And the longer you smoke it over a fire, the longer it's going to last. And we actually bought a dehydrator and did some of our own, which is still pretty good. So, and then of course we bought beef jerky and so on and so on. But we dehydrated carrots and bananas and other stuff. Sarah did all that work. She was amazing. But because I was gone on the road. But so if you're gonna buy meat, don't do it. I mean, now just imagine if you have a grid down scenario and your freezer goes out and you don't have a generator, or you do have a generator, you don't have enough gas, or you do have a generator but somebody's gonna hear it and they're gonna come swipe it from you, or it doesn't work when you go to fire it up. We got a 5200 watt at our shop that didn't fire up. I bought it brand new and it worked for a while, and now we got to get some parts for it. So imagine, whenever you go into stuff like this, you always have to think about worst case scenario, guys. Always think, and as everybody knows, if you watch my videos, I served my time in an elite combat unit back when I was thinner and tougher, but the old man still got it in him. But, and like I tell Sarah, always think about the worst case scenario. Always, 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 always the what if scenario. So you go ahead and you stock up your freezer with meat, and then the power goes down. You don't have a way to keep those things. Now you got to pull all this meat out and you're going to have to try to make a beef jerky within, a few days. That's not going to work. You're going to waste all that money and all that time and effort. You could probably barter it. I mean, you could barter it if it was frozen for a while, for a day or two. But if you are gonna buy meat and you're gonna do that, then start learning how to make your own beef jerky, because take that meat and let it work for you, and dehydrate it and bag it up, and air zip lock it, whatever we had the little thing that pulls the air out for the bags or whatever, the sealer or whatever. So anyways, just think about the worst case scenario and go buy yourself, even if it's not your fucking favorite Cheerios or whatever, man. Go get something, because a hungry person will literally eat anything, man. So stock up, because it's coming. I'm not a doomsday guy, man. We just know it was going to come. I didn't think it was going to come this soon in my life, but unfortunately it is. Especially when you see Bill Gates on Ellen DeGenerate and says that, unless everybody gets a vaccination, we're all going to stay in our homes. So the uprising is starting from things I'm reading and watching and listening to. I guess tomorrow in Michigan, they're going to do a drive-by on the Capitol, because the governor there, that chick is just whacked out. So they're going to just practice social distancing and drive around the Capitol or something like that. But it's happening tomorrow in Michigan. In Lansing is the capital, I believe. So, but then you had a priest down in Kentucky that wanted to do a sermon. So we're going to park their cars out in the parking lot, and he was just going to jump on a speaker system and have a church service. And the cops were there blocking the people from getting into the parking lot. What is wrong with people attacking Christians, man? What is wrong with, I don't get it. I mean, you're in your car. You're not spreading COVID. I mean, if your family's in the car, you guys live in the same house anyways. You're not bothering anybody. Let them enjoy church service. Crazy, man. Crazy. I mean, and anyway, so Trump is talking about, oh yeah, I can go after the governors. He can't do shit. And if you're not going after Governor Northam in Virginia for signing the Second Amendment gun ban law, when he's going after our constitutional rights, fuck you, Trump. That's just ridiculous. So, and these other people that are on this QAnon wagon, you're wasting your time, man. QAnon, that's a big farce. And I'm sorry, but if you're still listening to QAnon and you're still believing that this QAnon is gonna save the world, like my wife always says, Sibylla, saving the world. So if you think that QAnon is gonna come and save us, or this was all just part of Trump's plan to do this and do that and bankrupt America, and he's in cahoots with the whole world because QAnon exists everywhere. Where we go one, we go all. If you really believe that the QAnon is still a real thing, I was on the Q wagon for a while. I was like, wow, how intriguing. Man, you are gone. You probably have conversations with yourself as much as I do in the truck, because I do some nasty shit to myself in this truck. No, I'm kidding. But if you sit there and you think QAnon is a real thing, like they got this one channel, Just Informed Talk. That's all he does is QAnon. Dude, you got to get over it. It's done. And are you doing it just for the subscribers? Are you doing, they sell their little merchandise and this and that, and their little Patreon channel, like Paul Begley, that piece of shit, sits there and, I'm going to give you just a little bit of detail. Actually, I know Central Banker was talking about Begley today, and I wanted to put in the chat. I can't, and he doesn't like the guy either. He liked him before he got big, and I actually liked Begley before he got big. But then the guy, he's a false prophet, man. He's a false preacher. He's a businessman at the end of the day. He's a businessman with a touch of Jesus, as I say in his comments. And I comment all the time, you piece of garbage. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't muted me yet or blocked me. But yeah, he's a businessman with a touch of Jesus. Touch of Jesus. So, anyway, and I know I totally derailed this, but back to the vaccination. So, say for instance you have children, and I'll get to the point about the vaccinations on what you should do or what we should do. My mouth is getting dry. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys, I get stage fright when I'm on YouTube. Stage fright, man, stage fright. This stuff's actually really good, this Arizona tea. The ginseng one. A funny story real quick. My daughter, I had a little, my ex and I Sarah's my first wife. But when I was over in Italy, I met an Italian lady and we had a daughter, and my daughter is a transgender, now my son. So her name was Ashley Ann Sibylla, who was a name that I chose. And I got her name off of The Young and the Restless was a popular soap opera, and I had to watch my siblings in the summertime when my parents were working. So anyways, so I always liked this lady that was on The Young and the Restless, Ashley Abbott. So I don't know where I came up with Ann at, but it was Ashley Ann Sibylla. Well, now Ashley is now Ace. So I say I have a son. But my son was at our place for Sarah and our wedding, and there's a tea. It's actually sold in Mexican stores, and one of my brothers is a Mexican guy, Jose Gonzalez, and he stood up in our wedding. I had seven groomsmen, she had 7 bridesmaids. So, and we didn't have a best man or a maid of honor because, again, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Oh, you're my bestie. And she had a hard time with choosing. She had her sisters and her best friend, and I had all my brothers, and so we didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So we just said they were all our best men and all of our bridesmaids. So, anyways, back to the point, Kurt. Totally digressed. Totally derailed today. Totally derailed. So I had my brother tells me about this root. It's it helps your joints. I had a parachute malfunction on my 7 jump when I was in an airborne unit, and I jumped afterwards. I got out with 43 jumps. I got American and Belgian jump wings, but so my brother tells me about this root that his uncle or his father used when he was a kid. And what you do, it's a root, and you boil it in water, and you just, maybe, I don't know, a quart of water, 2 quarts of water, maybe, I don't even know the whole ratio between quarts, liters. I just know what a gallon is. And so you boil this stuff, and you put in however many roots you want or whatever. It's cheap. It's very cheap. It just comes in like a plastic bag, and you just put them in the boiling water. You boil it for a little while, and it turns blue. And so Sarah will make me a gallon of it. And what it does is it helps lube or soothe your joints. And I had like gout-like symptoms in my right foot, and I eat. My wife could even put in the comments, I eat it extremely well. Like I said, fruit salads. I mean, my nemesis is the pastas, obviously. But anyway, so I forgot what it is. Maybe Sarah can put it in the comments for everybody. But so anyway, so she had this gallon sitting on our counter in our kitchen, and but it was in an Arizona. I'm finally getting to the point. After all that bullshit, I'm finally getting to the point of what Ace said to me, my son. And so it was in an Arizona gallon jug on the counter, and Ace says to me, "Dad, what is that?" And I said, that's it's like a natural tea. And he sees it in the Arizona, or I said it's like an organic tea, and he sees it's in an Arizona jug. He's like, "Dad, Arizona is not organic. So anyways, every time I drink an Arizona green or a ginseng tea thing, I always think of Ace. So I know that it was totally off the beaten path, but I'm just one of those guys. Anyways, so now back to the frickin' point. And people are probably going to be fast forwarding. It's like, where's the real point in this video? But so people are talking about the mark of the beast, the vaccinations. Now, so if you have children and your children are starving, you're about to get evicted out of your place, all this other stuff, it's like 25 degrees here right now in Nebraska, and it was snowing earlier. But all of a sudden you're going to be out on the street because you haven't gotten the vaccination, you haven't gotten the chip, you haven't gotten the sign or whatever, the tattoo. And now you're going to be out on the street with your children, your wife. You literally have nothing. And then this van pulls up and says, well, you guys can take the vaccination. And you're going to look down at your children and they're going to be crying. And your wife, or even the husband may be crying. Everybody might be crying. Anyways, you're going to look down at your children and you're going to be like, shit. And you might take the vaccination. And then you're going to be damned. You know. So the point of the video is, I know with all the fluff I just gave you, but the point of the video is, it's easy for us to say that, oh, I'm not going to take the vaccination. I won't do that. And then you're going to be in that situation where your kids are crying, and you're hungry, and you're cold, and you're wet. I've been hungry. I've been cold. I've been wet. I served my time in the military. We didn't sleep in tents. We had what they call hooch. We basically took a poncho, and we were light infantry. We'd jump in everywhere. And then we would go on a 25-mile night movement. And then you got a couple hours sleep and you'd be soaking wet. And you would just basically take some bungee cords and you go to a bushed area and you would all lay down on a perimeter. And you would set up your poncho like a little, not even really a lean-to. It could be a lean-to. But anyways, just enough to cover you from the rain. And you set down your pussy pad, which is it's a real thin foam roll that you put on your rucksack, and then you put your sleeping bag down. And that's the way you're going to sleep. You didn't get any pillows. You didn't get, any warm, jammas, teddy bear. So you didn't get any of that, man. So I've been there. It's miserable, man. It is miserable. So when you look down at your children and your crying wife, and then somebody says you can go over to the house right there and there's big ass turkey and stuffing and everything else sitting on a table. And you can go in there and eat, and you can go in there and you could be warm, and your children can have nice soft beds to sleep in. Tell me then you're not going to get this. You're not going to get the vaccination. I'm going to do everything. And there, like I said, there is a point of the video at the end here. Bear with me. So, like I said, you need to come up with the plan. Now, I've said that in another couple videos before this. You need to plan accordingly, because and I watched the video before I came on here. I don't necessarily like the guy, Christopher Green, from AMTV, but I normally thumbs down his videos, but he did make one good point on one that I watched today, and he said, I didn't thumbs up it because, he agreed with Kurt Sabella. Give a fuck if you agree with me. It's my theory. It's my life. I'm human. I have flaws. I'm not predicting anything. I'm saying it's coming. I'm not giving a date. I just know it's coming. We all know it's coming. Whether it's in a year from now or whatever, we know it's coming. That's why we prepare. We're not crazy people. We're not prepared. We're not preppers. We're insurance agents. So, but anyways, so he had said that it's all coming, and he said when your phone goes off, that's when they're going to attack. And I said that in a couple of the videos before. I said when they invoke martial law, You know it's real when you go and your phone is completely, you have no service on your phone, and then you go to your wife's phone or your kid's phone or wherever, and all their phones are off. And then you go on the internet, the internet's off. You have no social media, you have no Twitter, you have no nothing. Nothing works. That's when you know it's real. It's as real as it is cold as shit in Nebraska right now. It is as real as that. So that's why I said have a plan B now. Today, 2 days ago, if you saw the video, you should start preparing. I talked to another brother yesterday, my buddy Chris Weaver, and I told him, and he's like, "Hey man, that's all right." He said, "As long as I could be the governor," and I said, "All right, you can be the governor. I'll be the general." So, have that plan B. Like I said, the phones are going off. Internet's going off, social media's going off, everything's going off. Expect for it to come then. So if you have a plan B now, and you guys, when that sign comes, you leave and you jump on the road. Because like I said, the first, maybe the second day of martial law, the first day for sure, they're gonna show leniency. Leniency. I ate a big ass turkey sandwich for lunch. Trying to eat up all my food in that fridge before I get to the house. Yeah, I'm a pig. So anyways, so have a plan B. Be ready to bug out immediately. And I'm not saying go dig a hole somewhere or go out. You can go wherever your rally point is. You guys get there immediately, first day, not the second or third day. Second day, they may show a little leniency, but the first day, they're going to show leniency. And the only reason why I said that in any other videos, if you watch it, is because they're all rookies at it. They've never done this before. So it's going to be mass chaos, mass panic, this and that, and they're going to be shutting down roads. And so you need to get out of Dodge immediately and get with your group. And the reason for that is and like I tell Sarah all the time, there's safety in numbers. Because if you're just a husband and wife with a child or 2 children or even 2 couples with 4 kids, you got to pull 24-hour security 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You have to have noise and light discipline. That means you can't be out fucking hooting and hollering. You can't have lights on at night. You can't be burning a big bonfire to stay warm. You got to stay as low profile as possible. It's called noise and light discipline. Now, finally, Kurt, the point of the video. Now, there's safety in numbers. Now you won't be out on the street with just you and your child and your wife or your husband or your significant other if you're not heterosexual, whatever the case is. You're not alone. There's safety in numbers. You cannot, and if you're the only one out of the group that's prepping, then I'll tell you what, I'd rather share my food and go hunt and work extra hard just to have that security. Because security is that's everything, man. If you don't have security, you got nothing. You got nothing. If you don't have security, you got nothing. And I'm not talking about just guns. If you don't have other people to support you mentally, emotionally, physically, if you don't have these things, you're doomed. You are doomed. Have security, people. So the more people you have around you, the higher your morale is. The safer you are. You're not feeling alone. Therefore, you can't take the mark of the beast. Finally, Kurt, you get to the point of the video. The more people you have around you, the less likely you are to take the sign of the beast. Therefore, you won't be damned to hell. Okay? Have security is everything. Even if you're the prepper of the group, if you're the one with the most guns, the most bullets, the most food, the most water filtration system, night vision, and I'm naming everything we got, night vision goggles, ATVs, I don't care what you have. If you don't have security to protect that, You just spent all these years. Well, for Sarah and I, it's only been a couple years. Oh, and another thing, have some rosaries on you. It makes you feel good. I bought myself a set and my wife a set. But, because you know that, it just makes you feel good. So, but like I said, if you're going to spend all this money and all this time and all this effort to get all this prepping stuff, but you don't have security, good luck, man. Good luck. Because when you're so tired after the third or fourth day of staying up that you and your wife just completely pass out and you wake up and all your shit's gone, or you guys are faced at the other end of a barrel, and someone's like, you just stay right where you are and we're taking all your shit, because that's what's going to happen. So remember, there's safety in numbers. The more people you have, the better your morale. The more you feel like you're not going to let other people down. Because if everybody in the group was like, man, don't take that, don't take that, don't take that, you're probably not going to take it. So that's the point of the video. Don't sit there and let it roll out of your mouth or off your tongue that easily. Oh, I'm not going to take the vaccination. By yourself, if your wife and your kids are sitting there and they're freezing and they're hungry and they're broken mentally, physically, just everything about them is just kaput, you're going to take that vaccination for your family. Even though you know it's not right, you're going to do it for your family because you're selfish, because you want to be around your family, just like I'm selfish and I want to be around my wife and my family. I would do it so I could prolong my time with my family. The right thing to do if somebody had Sarah and they had a gun to her head, in God's eyes, in the Bible's course of the way things are supposed to play out, then they should shoot her, as they should shoot me. Because there should be no reason why you should take the vaccination. There should be absolutely no reason. So that's the real way it should play out, is if you are alone and you just have your wife and your young kids, everybody's going to heaven that day because you can't take it. But like I said, the more people you have, the better security, the better everything's going to be. Because, and there's an old saying, if you're old like I'm 50, if you're old like I am, you're probably going to know this saying, but, they say that misery enjoys company. So if you're miserable and you have others around you that are miserable, it's not as miserable. That's how it was in our unit anyways. You see other guys, about to break down crying after they're doing a 25-mile speed road march and blisters as big as this on your feet and your heels, and you're dehydrated and you're hungry and you're broken. You know that there's another 130 guys in your company doing the exact same thing, except for the guys that fall out. That's why I said they're shitbags if they do. But we all have our breaking point. Some takes a while. So anyways, I hope you found this video information or helpful. If any of you guys ever want to call me too, I don't care. It's seriously like, why do you keep putting your number out? If any of you guys ever want to call me, my number is 414-477-7845. My email is time machine transport, the number 1 @gmail.com. I don't care who has my number. You want to throw me out nasty text, call me an SOB. I drive semi for a living. I got all the time in the world. You'll just be keeping me company. But anyways, I hope you found this helpful. And remember, don't take the vaccination and start to organize. The rebellion starts now. We got to start resisting people. And please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do more videos. Like I said, I'm going to do another one when I get back to the house, how to get out of an apartment, and if you only have one way in and one way out, how to get out of an apartment. Your house obviously is bigger than an apartment, and then also a form of weapons you can have besides a gun that aren't too godly expensive. Hopefully I can get the videos out before all this shit takes place, but hopefully this video finds you well. Once again, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please, it helps me out. God bless. Ciao.